All right. Hi, I'm Moshcraft, and we're going to make a guide for every deck that's currently meta in patch 11.3. The purpose of this guide is to learn how the most popular and solid decks in the meta work, how to play them, how to beat them. We're going to start with monsters, and the most popular one at the moment is Deathwish. There's two variants. There's one with Succubus, Erendite, Heatwave. There's another one, kind of older, initially made by Red Rain, that has Eager and Ozrel, Erendite, and Toad. We're going to focus on the Succubus one. Here's what the deck looks like right now. This is the most standard common variation. You can make some changes. You can run ADC, you can add a Dorgary, but this is the most common version that I see. The main things in this deck are Erendite, Dagon, Brewis. You have your Detlap AQ combo, although AQ can be used with other cards. You have your tutors. You have 3 Succubus that you can create. Potentially more with AQ if you have to. And you have Kairan as a big consumer immune card. Your Deathwish units are all value focused. So in theory, this is 8 for 4, this is 10 for 4, potentially. These are 4p consumes that consume, 2 of these give you an egg, so extra value there. These can consume 2 each, this can consume and plays for 8. These can be consumed many times. So it's just very economical. This deck loves blue coin, it's played a lot in tournaments, and it wants to grow Erendite every turn. That's kind of your biggest advantage with this deck, is when you have blue coin, you have a lot of tempo. So what's the general plan? Ideally, right, you want to play Dagon round 1, play Brewis, and Finn. Whether you bleed or not depends on what you're facing, but you want to get value out of Erendite, which means you want to play Sword twice, right, if you can. And you want to AQ your Deathwish. Again, this is like a plan. In a real game, you're going to do different things potentially, but that's sort of like the most basic standard boring version. Let's play a couple of games. Yeah, sorry, Ramram. People Run's gonna have to wait until after this game. Take a season dissertation? Yes, exactly. So we're playing against Reckless Flurry. Usually this is a shoot deck. They also have Erendite, so they're gonna probably try and compete with us for tempo. We don't care that much about that, but we're happy that we're blue coin. So we don't have Dagon in hand, but we do have Brewis. We have a lot of Deathwish cards. We're gonna send some of them back, especially the bronzes are what you want to send back, because they're gonna come out with Brewis anyway. We don't have Dagon in hand. We don't have our Royal Decree, and so we're just gonna play Brewis without playing Dagon first. Perfectly fine. Here I'm choosing not to leader this because, while there's a good chance they have muzzle, I'm not too bent out of shape about it. I'd rather keep my leader charge because I'm blue coin. In general, with every deck, you want to conserve your resources more on blue coin. Because the best you can do is win down a card. He kills our consume card, but importantly, he's not ahead. Again, this is assuming that we're against an Erendite deck. Now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 bronze Deathwishes in deck. Usually, I would Abaya this AQ, but I am a little worried because I know they're non-devotion, that they might have Heatwave or a lock or something, and so instead I'm just gonna do this here. This guarantees I get all my cards. Because it's still possible for me to miss some of these cards. We don't run Oniro, we don't run Maxi. Probably gonna kill the Baya. No, he's gonna consume that for us. Thank you, Mr. Opponent. You're very kind. Play Toad, some more carryover. Now, we don't have any more consumes here. Something to note is Doldulok can be used as a consume in a crunch. You don't have to use it for a succubus, but that's usually what it's used for. We have a Peller, that's easy. You want to just get out of the round. Just make us go down to 6 and then pass. But now he's down 27 points. There's no way he can contest. Even if he played a card, we can easily pass. That's something you want to be able to do, or you want to look for, is if you're up by like 30 points or something where your opponent has to play more than one card, that's a tempo pass. And while they're catching up, your Erendite keeps growing. And then they have to dry pass to you round 2. You can play a bunch of cards and keep your sword growing. You know, the bigger the sword, the better the player you are. This is known. Okay. These two are bonded. We're going to keep them together. We have one Toad in the graveyard and one Succubus. We don't want to play this on the range row. We have no Deathwish units. They played nothing round 1, and they're a golden necker deck. I think I just want to play my Detlaf combo and see how they react. The main reason I did that is because I couldn't play my Succubus yet, and I have a bunch of consumes and no Deathwish cards and no Dagon, and no way to tutor Dagon, and no Toad. So it was either like dry pass or, which I don't think is correct. He should pay something for having given up round 1 so easily. And if it's a Compass deck, which I assume it is, because why wouldn't you play Compass? It's a very good card. We want to maybe push them a little bit, I think. Keep in mind, I'm not an expert on every deck we're going to play as part of this series. But I will just point out things that I know, and hopefully that will help you when you're playing this deck or when you're playing against it. We did use our Peller in round 1 to purify the Seer Nova. If we hadn't, we could also use it on this Toad. Using a Peller on a Toad is essentially an 8-point play because it gives you another Toad in the next round, like taking away the Doom. Don't listen to him play Sihil and win every game. That was COC that was used, which is fine. He just denied us like the 4 points, and of course the 10 that was, the 12 points that it was worth. Now we have targets for these. Something that's a situation that's good to be in with this deck is to have to play down to like 2 or 3 cards when bleeding, and then again play it next round, because your Succubus has Adrenaline 4, so you have to have 5 cards or less when you play the Succubus and consume it, or when you consume the Succubus, and having that back to back is a lot of points. They play their Coral. I think I'm just gonna play my Erendite now. This does open it up to Squirrel, which if this is a Shoop deck, oh, it's not a Shoop deck, but it's a Golden Necker. But you know, SK decks sometimes run Squirrel because it's a beast and they can compass into Sove to grab it. But I still think it was worth it because that Coral was going to be an extra 4 points here, more if he has a Scald, more if there's a Bjorn, there's not a Bjorn. But again, we are still growing our sword every turn. Now, if I had an Endrego Warrior, I'd want to play this first, but I don't, so I'm just gonna play this. There's no chance that we miss Dagon. We have 2 tutors and 6 cards. I think this deck runs like Great Swords or something. I'm just gonna play this first because it's location and that's carryover. And we might be just leaving around here. We have a Dagon waiting for us. I want to have, at least 5 cards to force him to have to respond to this. Chat just doesn't want to be on TV. Next time I'm not going to tell chat that I'm recording. Sam, you're not chat, you're Mosh. Now he's got to play 26 points. Notice every time I pass, the sword is still growing. Got 2 leaders for 8 points. 2 points here, that's 10. Alright, so that puts my 45. Still need 16 points. How does he get 16 points in 1 card? 6 points. Is he trying to set up a duel? He's missing this. He just needs 10 points. Here, so he needs 8. I mean, he doesn't get it. He has to play another card. That seems odd for me to use all that. But Necrotome, I'm guessing for Golden Nectar? Okay. So they're gonna keep Golden Nectar and Compass for the next round? Is there even a Compass in this deck? Oh my god. Our sword is at 13 now. I guess Toad is good. Is it better than... I don't know, but if I draw Hillick, it's a brick, so I'm just gonna do this. So he's just gonna Lippy?
Time for some marauding!
They played a lot more specials than just COC, so... they played Primal Savagery, they played COC, they played 2 Stunning Blows. So... there's a good chance they don't even get COC here. Unfortunately, this does not get me ahead, but... I did make a mistake here. You want to play your Dagon across the row that the enemy has units because the different timers have... one of them is Spawn Storm when you get to 3. And the other is, when you get to 2, it boosts all allied units. So this being on the Ranger is also another reason to put this here. Iris' Companions. Seeing some very spicy stuff out of our opponent.
I don't have a date.
Drop this, lever it. Nova, Primal Savagery, Smile. Okay.
Oh, I sense
Yes, we just win. Alright. So that's, you know, once you get Brewis round 1 and tempo ahead, it's kind of a choose your own adventure kind of thing. Against an opponent who's also point slam. Or, they have some control, but Deathwish isn't super vulnerable to control. All our points are, all our cards, you know, are point slammy in nature. There's not a lot of engines. Now, Enslave 6 is another matter entirely. This deck is a giant pain because they can yoink our Succubus, they can remedy our Succubus, they can copy our everything. A lot of people at the moment are running Torres, which means that, you know, and Anna, because they can copy your like Detlaf or AQ and then use your leader that they copied to get value out of them. So I'm trying to keep all my good cards in hand, and I'm gonna open with Dagon, which, you know, they can put spying on, but now once I do that, I guess the units still probably put spying on or Detlaf. Odin Kiran. At least that's what I would do if I was playing Enslave against this. So when you get to play Dagon round 1, this is important. He actually applies an infusion to up to 5 units. So usually you just target your Bronze Deathwishes. I'm also going to target Detlaf. If you missed all your toads, sometimes it's okay to infuse Giant Toad because anything that's infused with Deathwish is essentially now a Deathwish unit. So you can grab it with Hillick, you can grab it with Brewis. And that's just a little trick to be aware of. Something else to also always keep in mind is, you know, Foglet is a really important tool in your arsenal. I know it feels like this deck doesn't have any control, but Foglet can actually be really annoying. A lot more so in like the ST matchup where you can use it to kill Saskia. But in this matchup, it's still good. You drop it. The benefit of having blue coin, in addition to this Urn of Shadows, is that your Dagon can instantly consume Brewis, and so your opponent can't leader it. Right? Because if they leader, then you don't get thinning value. Now, I have to decide here if I want to eat the Foglet, get the fog going, or the Brewis. I'm for sure gonna eat the Brewis. The question is, do I leader the Foglet? And I think the answer is no. And the reason for that is they have so many ways to boost this card. It's not gonna die to fog. It would force them to do something other than like play damage card. It would force them to play Boo Herd or defensive Joust, but I don't think that's too important. I think they know that they're not going to win this round. Because look at how many points we have. We can consume these as well. When you play a phase 1 Dagon, especially when you're against a deck like opponents, which almost never has a squirrel, it's really important to keep track of how many stacks this artifact has. This is something that spawns in your graveyard when you first play Dagon. And what you want to do is decide when you want this to hit 4, because that's when Dagon comes out. Almost always you want this to come out around 4. Now my Dagon's at 3. The only other units to my deck that have the infusion are Siren and Deathwish. So I'm not sure why opponent is playing here. I think that's a mistake. They should just want as many mulligans as possible to get gold in this round. If they shorten the round too much, I will bleed them dry. And again, they haven't played Calvi yet. Who knows? This could be some weird deck. If I had infused a giant toad or this harpy, that might have been actually the correct play. I could have used the sprinkler to grab it. Now I lose the bonded value on the harpy, but I think that's... None of these are very good targets. Like, something that these enslaved decks play is Obsidian Mirror. One of the ways they deal with Deathwish. And what I've done, not necessarily like at any great cost or anything, is I've made it so his Obsidian Mirror is not good. Like, you would get an Endrega Warrior, a Harpy, and a Toad. The Toad is good, but these other units are not good. If instead we had like 2 Succubus and a Siren on the board, oh yeah, that's a really good Obsidian Mirror for him. Or even a Foglet, because you could spawn a 1-power Foglet in the fog and it dies. And not only do we lose 1 point from hitting a 1, we also get Fog and Iron. What they lack is Consumes, right? So I'm looking at this, and he needs 25, and then he's taking 2 damage. He needs 27 points. He needs to get it in 1 card. I don't think he can get it. Now, this may be a mistake. I'm not super experienced in this side of the matchup. Then again, I don't usually find much. Oh, nothing comes out. I guess that's one way to get there. Something like Ivar would have been another way to get there, but that would have required him, you know, having Ivar, which is very odd. But whenever you see your opponents stick around when they're down a ton of points, start asking yourself, what's a card they could have that would make their play not be stupid? Just like assume your opponent's not bad, and then if they are bad, you win anyway because they're bad. But if they're actually smart or they have a plan, then you won't fall for it. Opponent has to go down 2 cards to win the round, which means we get last say. And I don't think they can bleed because they played their Stefan already. I think we want to keep this and this really. And this can get us that laugh. Let's see what they do. I live in Seattle, Washington, Darvitz. They Calvi because they have to. Not good location. Succubus. I don't need to get ahead. I'm perfectly happy trading 1 card for a card. Using PvP. I'm gonna play another Succubus. He's already used Leader, so he could Remedy. But then I still have another one in the graveyard. The reason I clicked this was because I want to make sure I get both Detlaf and Kayran, since I no longer have to. I don't think think I want to keep the Harpy. If I draw the Deathwish, then this becomes a brick. I think I have to mulligan the Siren. So did you keep all the sucks in hand? Not necessarily, it just worked out that way this game. With assassination, I don't think they can have 2 remedies and an assassination and 2 sorcery. But I know very little about their deck. We can't play Succubus yet, because it would just get 2. I think we just have to play the Deathwish. Get our Toad out too, because you don't want them to remedy your Toad. If it gets Dagon out, they can, you know, copy it and whatnot. They can consume, but you're gonna have to give him something at some point. Something I didn't do was leader this Deathwish. If they still had their leader, then this is a bad play because they just yoink this and deny you your AQ and deny you everything. Wow, they just opened Forest. Okay. So in terms of removal, they have a Vilgefortz. And they have a Stefan, which they already played. So, like if we're against Double Cross, I'd be worried about Yenvo. Yenvo on this would be really hurtful. A lock will be annoying, but we have Peller. Vilgefortz will be annoying because we will lose 13 plus 4. But if I leader it, then he just gets more points anyway. Fortunately, it's just a lock. So that's easy. Purified. Again, because actually, this row doesn't matter. If this was round form 3 Dagon, we'd want these on this row. It's not. So we just do that. I don't want to consume it with the Dagon because that just gives him a really good removal target. So instead, I'm just gonna leader it here. 16 hours already put control. Oh, I screwed up. I bricked my Abaya. I should not have consumed it that turn. I should have waited, played Abaya. Now, when he does Vilgefortz, though, we have a chance to get this out. So I'm going to hold on to the Abaya for now. Not having Heatwave is, you know, really unfortunate. We have a 12-power Arendelle, and we're still quite a bit ahead. I'm going to play this Toad. Keep it low. I don't think an Enslaved deck is going to have 2 Alvas. And if he has another one, he's going to get plenty of lock value from locking a Succubus, so I think that was still a misplay by me. It's always good to get an extra Deathwish. Sometimes, you know, like if I had Heatwave, I would Heatwave this Sergeant, but I don't. And I don't think it's worth Arendelle it. So we play for 11 points, and it's very common for them to have more than one Sergeant. And since he played this, I don't know that he has a Slave Driver. Maybe he does. Then, like, what did he cut? He must have cut Vigo. Oh, or we know they don't have War Council. They would have played War Council by now. Something thing I can do is consume this frog and then drop the succubus on the rainbow.
We're not done for this. I'm just a sex.
That way, again, there's no chance for him to remedy our frog out. Opponent realizes the game's over, they pass, we win. We would be like consuming it, just so you know, we would be playing with this, and then Tehran. Once he builds towards we Abaya. So, to reiterate, how to win with share my screen so you guys can see how to win with Succubus, Arrow, Heatwave. Okay. The general plan is to play Dagon round 1, then play Brewis, consume things, thin. You want to use your sword twice if you can. You want to AQ your Deathwish, then Abide. Emphasis on the general part. How to win with this deck. Step 1. Get loot 1. 2. Draw Lewis. If you have any questions or any other decks you want to see a guide for, post in the comments.